finally, I have my first short story up. Not the first one I've ever written, but the first one that I'm putting on YouTube. It's called Missing Person, and I hope you like it. So without further ado, here it is.
Missing Person by Cassidy Willis. When I trudge through my front door shouldering my backpack, the first thing I see is my mom hopping around the corner of the hallway, trying to get to the front door as she shoves each foot into one boot at a time. "Hey baby, I'm running late. How was school? Good? Good. I love you." She plants a swift kiss on my cheek, smearing her lipstick, as she scoops up her purse and gallops out of the door like a wounded moose. I love her to death, but that woman is a mess. I shake my head. This is an everyday occurrence. Don't get me wrong, it's amusing, but for once, it would be refreshing to see her get her shit together for 5 minutes. She's late to every school function, if she remembers to show up at all. She's late practically every day to work. I don't know how she's kept this job for so long. Thank goodness for buses. When I was little, she was scared to let me ride the bus, and I would be late to school every day. Now I drive, so it's no big deal. I drop my bag on the couch and make my way to the stash of Rice Krispie treats I hid in the laundry room, away from my little brother. I feel bad for feeling aggravated with my mom. I know she does the best she can. And yes, I know how lame that sounds. But it's true. She's so different than any other adult I know. She's so overly sensitive and definitely overprotective sometimes. But she's also one of the most fun people I know. Ever since I was little, all I remember is all of our crazy adventures we have always went on, whether it be to the movies in our pajamas or a spontaneous road trip in the middle of the week. She never freaked out about me missing school like the other moms did. My mom might be very unconventional, but she definitely makes a stand against normal and boring. She always said, "Emery, just because the whole world goes to school, wakes up a few years later, goes to work, then wakes up a few years later just to jump into a coffin, doesn't mean you have to follow suit." As a kid, I never understood what in the world she was talking about, but it didn't matter. That was just her, crazy and philosophically abundant in random notions. But now I understand. She said this so often that sometimes it would be stuck in my head on replay like a song. She was telling me that it's okay not to lead a normal life, a life so mundane and scheduled that it's not really even a life at all. And she was warning me that the pattern of living this life can sometimes take over, and you wake up and your whole life has passed you by. "Hey, where did you get that?" Startled, my head snaps up. In the doorway stands a freckled little boy with red curls, eyeing the Rice Krispie treat half eaten in my hand. "Evan, I just bought them for us to eat together?" He narrows his eyes at me. "Likely story. Hand it over." His little nose scrunches up, and it's so cute that I roll my eyes and toss a treat to him without forcing him to be polite about asking. "Thanks, Em. What do you want to do today?" He asked around a bite of Rice Krispie treat, tiny pieces flying out from the corners of his mouth. I slide off the dryer I was perched on and follow him to the living room. This is his exact dialogue every day. "What are we going to do today?" Like, because we have the house to ourselves, it's automatically going to be eventful. Sometimes I disappoint. Other times I surprise him. Today, I hadn't really had anything fun planned. I try to rack my brain for something to do. Last Friday, we did science experiments. Monday, we made homemade slime and putty. We went to the park on Wednesday. We could go get ice cream, but we have ice cream in the freezer. And then it hits me. "Oh, Ev, I saw this flyer for a light festival thingy they're having this weekend starting tonight on the school bulletin board." I remember because I thought it was weird that they would have it hanging up when it was 2 towns away. "Do you want to go to that?" I'm excited about the prospect of getting out of town. "Which town?" he says, raising his eyebrows disapprovingly. "Loveland." He rolls his eyes like it's out of the question. "Oh man, now I'm excited, and you know we can't go." "Come on, booger. I won't tell if you don't. It's only an hour away. Live a little, kid. You don't have many adventures left in life." "I'm only 8. I laugh. "Come on. I'll tell Mom it was all my idea if we get busted, which I don't see how we would." "All right, I'm in." His front tooth is missing in his grin, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yay! I scoop him up and run down the hall. I slide into his room and plop him on his bed and tell him I'm going to go change. Then I stick my head back in his room and tell him to put on long pants and grab a jacket. I might as well at least pretend to be responsible. Mom doesn't have many rules, but staying away from Loveland is one of her big ones. I don't know why. I love it there. No pun intended. She always says it smells terrible and there's a lot of crime and it brings back bad memories of when she was in an abusive home as a child living there. The memories I can understand, but the crime thing is not true at all. Why forbid Evan and I from going there? It doesn't make any sense, but that's how Mom is. When Lori Martin forms a firm opinion of something or someone, there is no changing it. It's not as if I'm taking Evan skydiving. It will be perfectly safe. I trade my dress, tights, and boots for some skinny jeans, my Monsters University hoodie, and some Converse. Evan and I meet at the front door, me with a pocket full of cash and my cell phone, and him with a Captain America action figure. We look at each other and nod once like we're secret agents. Then, dramatically, we slowly creep across the front lawn, glancing around. Evan does a supersized spy somersault for good measure. Finally, we're in the car and cruising to Loveland, Colorado. The hour speeds by as we listen to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on audiobook. I switch it to the music when we get to Loveland, to the Loveland welcome sign. Evan is fidgeting and jumping in his seat with excitement. Parking in downtown sucks. It takes us 24 minutes to find a spot I can actually manage to slide into. But soon, hand in hand, we are striding down the crowded street and into the festival. Everything is so beautiful. The trees are lit up spectacularly. We start at the petting zoo. Little goats and alpacas were unenthusiastic when it came to all of the attention, but Evan loved it. Starving by this point, I made Evan wash his hands twice. Then we scattered out all the potential food opportunities. After convincing Evan that there wasn't a McDonald's around and it would be silly to leave our parking spot to go find one, we settled for a place called the Poorhouse. I got a burger and Ev got chicken fingers. After we ate, we went around and saw all the booths. And Evan spent 40 minutes inside the bounce house. He refused to come out, even when I used my "I'm stern, I'm a big sister, fear me" voice. I finally had to go in and drag him out by his ankles laughing. We both got cotton candy, which we ate while we stood in line to see Santa, which confused Evan because it's only November 30th. And he didn't know it was Christmas time yet. They also had two girls dressed up as Anna and Elsa from the Disney movie Frozen. The line to take a picture with them was humongous. I asked Evan if he wanted to get a picture with them. He made a face at me and shook his fist in the air. "Only girls like them," he claimed, blushing. I know he loves Frozen, but I don't push him on it. We were having a great time, but my favorite part of the night was the light-up horse carriage ride through the streets. It felt like a fairy tale. I realized the time at 9:30, and Evan and I agreed not to cut it too close. Mom gets off work at midnight. Worn out, we sludge back toward the car. I already know that as soon as we start driving, Ev will be asleep. We stop at practically every walking light. That's where we are now, waiting for the red hand to turn into a walking man telling us it's safe to cross the street. Right next to the button you push in order to tell the light you want to cross, that's where I see it. There it is, right above the button. It looks new, like someone had just put it up right before the festival. Is this a joke? The light has turned and Evan starts pulling me, but I don't budge. I'm studying the girl on the flyer, the girl with dark brown hair and green eyes. She's little, maybe 5 years old, and wearing a sleeveless sunflower dress. It must be a coincidence. But my eyes zero in on the little girl's left shoulder. There's a birthmark there in the shape of a miniature banana. I knew it would be there because when I wore that dress as a child, I showed everyone that scar. My stomach flies to my throat and tears spring to my eyes. I don't think my heart has ever pounded this hard. I can barely hear Evan ask if I'm okay through the ringing in my ears. Am I going to pass out? Oh God, I can't breathe. My chest opens as I suck in short breaths. "Emery, are you okay? What's wrong?" Evan shakes my arm, panicked. "Pull it together, Em." I force my hysteria down. I reach my hand up and yank the missing persons flyer down, shoving it into my hoodie pocket. Evan looks confused, but I distract him. Forcing a smile, I bend down to his level and say, "I'm fine, silly. Sorry, I was lost in thought. Want me to carry you?" He studies me for a minute, but he's just a little boy, trusting and innocent. He has no reason to believe I would lie to him, and he's too tired to worry about things that would trouble a grown-up. He nods, and I scoop him up. His legs wrap around my waist, and his arms around my neck, and his head lies on my shoulder. I hold him tight as silent tears run down my face. I can feel the missing persons flyer burning a hole into my hoodie pocket. I can't think straight. This is insane. It's just a coincidence. It has to be. After what feels like a lifetime and my arms are burning with Evan's weight, I put him in the back seat and buckle him in. I turn on the Harry Potter audiobook to try and distract myself, but the whole drive home, I don't hear it. All I hear and all I see are memories I've always had but couldn't explain. I think about how my mom always said that the few baby pictures she had of me were ruined when the house flooded when I was little. I see my mom's face in my mind, and for the 1,000th time, I think about how different we look. Evan and her have red hair and blue eyes. I was always the misfit between them. I've never met my dad, but I never gave much thought to that, and I knew Ev and I have different dads. But what does this mean? Am I going insane? This is crazy, laughable even. What do I think happened? My mom kidnapped me or something? I shake my head as new tears replace the old. No, 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 of course not, I say, knowing that I'm lying to myself. I remember the dress. I remember it perfectly. It was my favorite. Sunflowers have always been my favorite flower, and I remember taking that picture. It was the morning of something special, but I don't remember what. I cry and I cry until I have to pull over because I can't see through my tears. I sob as quietly as I can. I think I might throw up, and I open the door just in case, but I never do. When my tears become more manageable, I pull back on the road. No, 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 no. I whisper the rest of the way home until the word has lost its meaning altogether. I whisper it over and over again as my whole world, my whole reality, devastatingly comes plummeting down around me as I sit in a driveway in front of a house that isn't really mine.
Dum dum dum. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like my story because I'll be putting up more soon. The thing that really sets me back on uploading them isn't the reading, obviously, it's the costumes. So just bear with me. It took me forever for me to get this hoodie in, my Monsters University hoodie, like Emery wears in the story. So just bear with me, but I hope you liked it, and I can't wait to give you guys more.